Hope you had a lovely day. Hope you had an alcohol and addiction-free day today. Let's talk about addiction and its being hereditary. Contrary to what many people think and say, addiction, especially addiction to alcohol, is not hereditary. What addiction is that when you come from a family that drinks alcohol, maybe your grandparents drank alcohol, maybe your parents drink alcohol, your brothers and sisters are drinking alcohol, then there is a predisposition that you can become an alcoholic. It doesn't mean that if your family is drinking alcohol, then it is a foregone conclusion that somebody has to become an alcoholic. What makes an alcoholic is not the family that they come from. You are likely to become an alcoholic if you underwent some childhood traumas, if you are depressed, if you are suffering from stress, if you are mentally unstable or you have a mental health condition, then there are chances that you'll become an alcoholic if you use alcohol. One of the main reasons people get to become dependent on alcohol is because they use alcohol to hide the real issues that are troubling us. These issues I've already said include childhood traumas, major life changes, the death of a loved one, maybe you lose a job, even change of the place that you live. Some people move from one place and into another, and it becomes very hard for them to cope. These might lead you to start using alcohol, and with time you become dependent on alcohol or other drugs or substances. This doesn't actually mean that addiction is hereditary. In fact, it is not. But there are predisposing factors that leads one to addiction. If you can't handle your life, if you can't handle your tough situations, if somebody tells you to try and drink alcohol, that it will help you deal with grief, deal with a loss, deal with anything that is profound, any emotion that you can't actually deal with, then you are a likely candidate for alcohol dependency and alcohol addiction. While these are the things that make you become addicted to alcohol, learning to live with them, learning to deal with them, learning how to live your life without needing to escape from it, learning to deal with your childhood traumas, learning to deal with anything traumatic that you've experienced will help you not fall into addiction as a means of escape, as a means of relaxation, as a means and ways to forget. Addiction doesn't have to be your go-to when you have problems. Addiction can be overcome. First, you have to accept that some things happened in your life. Things are happening in your life, and that is part of the human experience. Work to deal with these. Learn to live with them. If you need to go for therapy, if you need to go for counseling, do so, if this will help you. Learn to be vocal and able to express yourself well. This way you'll be able to deal with all these things that are underlying and leading you to use drugs or alcohol. Addiction is not the problem in itself. The problem is actually those underlying issues that you deal with. And that is why you'll find that in a family, 5 people are drinking, but only one becomes addicted. this person gets to become addicted because they have issues that they have not learned how to deal with, and they're using the alcohol or drugs to escape from these issues. That doesn't mean that it is a hereditary factor or a hereditary issue, because if it were, then other members of this family would also be addicted, and which is most often not the case. The problem then becomes that you have challenges that you face, you have issues that you don't know how to deal with, that are causing you to use drugs as a means of escape. If you remove the problem, the childhood traumas, the grief, the loss, the despair, the anxieties, then you have removed your addiction. Once you are able to face your life without necessarily needing to escape from it, you will not need to use alcohol or drugs, because then there will be nothing you are escaping from. There will be nothing that you are running away from. There will be nothing that is hard for you to face. You'll be able to face your situations as they come. And I bet you'll be happy and strong if you are able to face your challenges, your hardships, your tough conversations without necessarily having to hide behind alcohol and drugs. Life is much more better when you're not drunk. Life is much more better when you don't sympathize and comfort yourself by saying you are addicted because it is hereditary. It is not, and you can overcome your addiction, whether you come from a family that drinks or not. It is upon you to make the right choices, to push through and overcome your grief, overcome everything that is challenging you, and enjoy life sober and drug or alcohol free.